Hey, are you interested in learning? Check out our videos. Want more knowledge content? Make sure you've subscribed to our channel.
Hey everyone, so if you've ever tried to work with data, I'm sure you've hit that moment, that really frustrating moment. You write code that you think is absolutely perfect, you hit run and poof, it either breaks or maybe even worse, it gives you an answer that you know deep down just can't be right. So what's happening there? You're staring at your screen, you're checking your logic, you're checking every single semicolon, and it all looks fine. It's a feeling every single person in data has had, and it can honestly make you want to pull your hair out. But here's the thing, what if the problem isn't actually your code? Yep, that's right. 9 times out of 10, the real culprit, the thing that's quietly wrecking your entire analysis, is your data. It's dirty data. It's messy, it's incomplete, it's all over the place, and it can completely destroy your results without ever giving you a clear error message. And that's what makes it so sneaky. Okay, so in this explainer, we are going to tackle this beast head on. First, we'll talk about what dirty data even means. Then, we're going to set up our own little messy data set to play with. We'll get our hands dirty handling missing values, fixing duplicates, sorting out data types, and then at the very end, we'll put it all together into a complete cleaning workflow you can use on any project. Sound good? Let's get into it. All right, section 1, why your data is dirty. So what on earth do we actually mean when we say dirty data? It sounds kind of dramatic, but believe me, the problems it causes are super real. Let's break it down. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine you've got a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, but 30 pieces are just gone. 10 of them are from a completely different puzzle box, and a few are just labeled wrong on the back. You could try to put it together, right? But the final picture would be a total mess. It wouldn't be the real picture. That is exactly what happens when you try to analyze dirty data. You might get something that looks like an answer, but you can't trust it one bit. So really, all dirty data means is data that has mistakes in it. And here's the crucial part. This isn't some rare thing. It is the absolute default for real-world data. Think about it. Anytime data is collected, whether it's from people filling out forms or from sensors or whatever, mistakes are going to happen. People leave things blank, systems glitch and create duplicates, numbers get saved as text. So learning to clean data isn't just some extra skill, it's literally the foundation of any good, reliable data analysis. And usually, these mistakes fall into 3 big buckets. First, you've got missing values, like a customer signs up but doesn't enter their age. Poof, empty field. Second, you have duplicate records where the exact same info gets entered more than once, which can totally throw off your counts and averages. And third, and this one's a sneaky one, you have wrong data types. For example, a price is stored as text instead of as a number. Good luck trying to do any math with that. Okay, enough talk. The absolute best way to learn this stuff is by doing it. So let's get our hands dirty. We're going to create our own tiny, messy data set right now using Python and the Pandas library. That way we can clean it up together step by step. So here's the code to make our little mess. First, you see we import Pandas and NumPy. These are 2 of the most essential libraries for data science in Python. Then we create what's called a dictionary. You can just think of it as a way to define our columns and the data inside them. And you'll notice we've been a little sneaky here. We've put Bob in twice to create a duplicate, and we've used np.nan, which just means not a number, to create those empty null spots. The very last line takes that dictionary and turns it into a beautiful data table that Pandas calls a data frame. And voila! This is what our data frame looks like. You can see the problems right away, can't you? There's our duplicate Bob row. And see all those nans? Those are the holes in our data, the missing pieces of our puzzle. We're missing values for age, score, and grade. If we tried to calculate the average age right now, that nan would mess up the whole calculation and give us a wrong answer. Okay, so our first job, and honestly the most important step in any data cleaning project, is to find and deal with these missing values. Let's figure out how to systematically hunt down all those holes. This little line of code right here is your new best friend. Seriously, it's almost always the first command you'll run on a new dataset. The first part, df.isNull, goes through every single cell and asks, hey, are you empty? It creates a whole table of trues and falses. Then, when you tack on .SumOf, it just counts up all the true values in each column. It's a super fast and powerful way to get a bird's eye view of your missing data problem. And this is what that command shows us. It's so clear, right? The name column is perfect, no missing values, but age, score, and grade each have 2 holes we need to patch. So now we know exactly where the problems are. The big question is, what do we do about them? Basically, we have two main options here. We can either drop the data or fill it in. Dropping means we just completely delete any row that has a missing value. It's fast and easy, but you risk throwing away other valuable information in that same row. The other path is to fill the nulls with a smart guess, like the average value for that column. This saves the row, which is great, but you have to be careful, because if you're not smart about it, you could actually introduce bias into your data. So how do you make a smart guess? Well, it all depends on the type of data. For a number column like age or score, if the numbers are pretty normal, using the mean, the average, is a solid choice. But if you have some really high or low numbers, called outliers, the median is a much safer bet. Now, what about a text column like grade? You can't average A's and B's, right? So for that, we use the mode, which is just a fancy word for the value that shows up most often. All right, we've got a plan for our missing values. Let's move on to the next couple of troublemakers. Duplicates and wrong data types. These guys can be a little more subtle, but they can mess up your analysis just as badly. Remember our problem with Bob showing up twice? If we were, say, counting our users, he'd get counted twice, and our numbers would be off. This command you see here, df.duplicated.sum, is super simple. It just asks pandas to find any rows that are 100% identical and then count how many of them there are. In our little dataset, it would pop up and tell us 1. And thankfully, getting rid of them is just as easy. The command drop duplicates does exactly what you think. Now, that in place equals true part is really, really important, especially when you're starting out. It tells pandas, hey, don't just show me what it would look like. Actually change the data table and make it permanent. With that one little line, our extra Bob is gone for good. Last but not least, let's talk data types. You can check them really easily with df.dtypes. Why does this matter? Well, sometimes a column that's full of numbers, like a price column, gets accidentally read in as text. Pandas calls this an object type. If you try to calculate the average price, your code will just crash. The fix is this line here, pd.toNumeric, and that little bit at the end, errors equals course, is an absolute lifesaver. It tells pandas, hey, if you find something in this column you can't turn into a number, don't freak out and crash, just turn it into a missing value, a nan, and we'll deal with it later. Okay, we've looked at all the individual tools in our cleaning toolkit. Now for the most important part, let's put it all together into one single repeatable workflow that you can use every single time you get a new dataset. This right here, this is your game plan, your checklist. Step 1, load your data and just get a quick overview. Step 2, immediately hunt down and remove any of those full row duplicates. Step 3, find and count up your null values so you know how big the problem is. Step 4, strategize. Decide how you're going to fill those nulls, mean, median, or mode. Step 5, check all your data types and fix anything that looks weird. And finally, step 6, do one last quick review to make sure everything looks clean and correct. And just like that, you're done. By following that simple checklist, you've taken a chaotic, messy, untrustworthy data set and turned it into a clean, solid foundation. Now, and only now, are you really ready to start the fun stuff? Doing analysis, making cool charts, or even training a machine learning model that you can actually count on. Now look, watching me do this is a great first step, but I really can't say this enough. The only way this stuff actually sticks is if you do it yourself. So please, after this, open up a code editor, create that same messy data frame from the beginning, and type out these commands with your own 2 hands. You have to build that muscle memory. True understanding only comes from doing the work. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Data cleaning, it isn't just a boring chore you have to get through. It's the process of getting your data ready to tell you its secrets. It's the most critical first step on any path to discovery. Because with a clean data set, the possibilities are literally endless. So the question is, what are you going to find?
How did you feel? Is it helpful? Appreciate our efforts in the comment section below. Hit like button, share with your friends about us, subscribe our channel to get further updates, stay connected with us on social networking sites. For more free tutorials, visit our website www.learnitguide.net.